Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Kourse Metal Show. Today, we are going to be looking at a little article or a write up of the band Outlaw Blood from the 1992 Rip magazine. So, this is going to be in the series of, I think I'm just going to have like all my magazine material in one series, whether that be looking at album ads or band write-ups or just album reviews from magazines. I think I'm just gonna have it in one series, so it's all in one spot for you guys if you want to check out these old 80s, early 90s magazines and stuff. So, but as far as today, we are gonna look at the January edition of Rip here from 1992, and like obviously, as you can see here, Brett Michaels is on the cover from Poison, but you do see some other names here as well, like Neverland, AC/DC, The Cult, but then you also have some write ups here from Soundgarden and a couple of those alternative bands that were starting to creep in to the mainstream, if you will. And it's just really cool to see a mixture that people were, or like these bands were living together at the time and not hating each other. But after a certain point, it just became like, yeah, we're not even going to be talking about the glam or hair metal scene anymore, or bands or whatever. So it's cool to see that transition, if you will, before it just everyone totally forgot about it. So let us jump into the Outlaw Blood article. So there's like three write-ups for bands here, and it's under the Fresh Blood category. And here they have the Scream, and then they also have the Eric Gale's band, which I was not familiar with until I got this magazine, and it's actually really, really good, really bluesy stuff. But we are going to be talking about today Outlaw Blood, and as you can see here, the Eric Gale's band. But more importantly, right here we have Outlaw Blood. Now, like I said, this is around the time when their debut album came out. So, and that is this right here, the self titled. And let us get a little bit more information here from this article and on Outlaw Blood, and if there's anything here that we can take home. This article here was written by JG. So, I'm starting the article with quotes. The guys in Outlaw Blood seem to take life so casually that the intensity in their voices when they talk about their songs is rather surprising. You can feel the fire behind singer Mark McCoy's easygoing facade when he explains. There is a certain amount of deliverance of all of these little demons that you keep dropping down into your hat. When you can put that on paper, there's something very therapeutic about it. Perhaps his ability to do this is the reason he can glide through the volcanoes of life. He was playing bass for Steve Jones, and it became clear they needed a new drummer. Mark Fredrickson came to them through a recommendation. So Mark and Marty got together to work on Jones' project. But instead, says Mark, we ended up writing a couple songs in a matter of, I don't know, a few hours. I went, oh shit, we didn't have time to work on what we were supposed to do. LOL. They didn't say LOL. I just added that. Uh, oh well, fuck it. As it turned out, business technicalities were keeping Jones's solo career on hold, so Mark and Marty decided to form their own band. Marty wound up playing rhythm guitar, and Mark knew a great lead guitarist from his hometown of San Diego, Rick Harkle. Nick Perez was originally a guitarist, but he did not mind taking over the group's bass position. New Yorker Larry Iberman came after the record deal as a replacement for Outlaw Blood's original drummer. The buzz behind Outlaw Blood happened quickly. They did a couple gigs outside of their home base of Los Angeles, and someone from a record label saw them. Next thing they knew, their lawyer had set up a series of heavy-duty showcases. A&R exec from Atco caught wind of the project. We booked a room for Warner's, recalls Mark, and Karen goes, do you mind if I just slip in before they come? I'm thinking, well, is that ethical? I don't know. Well, whatever. So Atco got a quick preview of the band, and the label's enthusiasm convinced the band to sign on the dotted line. Mark was relieved, and battled between the record companies was over. If I had to do it over again, I wouldn't suggest anybody trying to do a bidding war, man, because I think it alienated people. The group's self titled debut contains some of the catchiest hard rock to come out of a new band, from the cheap, trickish guitar riff of Body and Soul to the bluesy ballad Slave to Love. Plus, there's a depth behind the simplicity of the lyrics, words that come from a group that faces life with both courage and ease. Mark hopes Outlaw Blood's listeners will get it. Maybe some poor bastard is going, I'm not the only guy who feels crazy. Your record strikes a note in his heart. Just wanted to jump in here, guys. If you guys enjoy this content that we're doing here, please like the video, please share it, and then please subscribe. That helps the channel out so much, just helps everything that we're doing here. And also, leave me a comment as well. Always interested to see what you guys had to say. Now let's jump right back into this video. And that wraps up the article here for our boys here in Outlaw Blood. As you can see, very cool. Definitely there's some things in these articles that I obviously wasn't aware of, but it's just really wild how, like, you why wouldn't you necessarily want a bidding war for your band? You would think, oh, yeah, sure, you want to hurry up and get signed. I get that, but gotta have a little patience. You gotta get the right deal. But as far as the debut album goes, I like this album a lot. Even, like, look at the cover. I know some people don't like the cartoonish covers, but, like, that's cool. Like, I remember when I was going through eBay when I was, like, a teenager, and just, like, picking up, like, all the cheap stuff, like cheap hair metal and stuff like that. And this one caught my eye because of the cover. And I was like, oh, I'd never even heard of this band or seen anything like on YouTube from. So I looked them up, and I'm like, oh yeah, let me get this. And it was obviously cheap enough to take a chance on it as well. So, and I'm super glad I still have it, obviously, and just great stuff. So, like, some of my favorite songs on here is Every Day I Die. Really good, like mid tempo, slower, maybe even ballad, I would say. That is probably the ballad on the album. But then you also have, like, another ballad, but this is kind of more of a bluesy feel to it than a straight ballad, which is Slave to Love. Very good. One of my favorite songs off the album. Just love the bluesiness to it. And there is a bluesiness to the whole album here. It's not necessarily like Junkyard, but it is a little more sleazier and up tempo than, say, Junkyard, uh, generally. And then some of the other ones here is Tower of Love or Body and Soul. Check those songs out. So those are the songs that I would strongly recommend. I recommend the whole album, but I like those. Like, those are the 3 to 4 songs that go on, like, playlist that I generally always seem to come across on my iPod when I'm not just checking out the album itself. But yeah, definitely an album. If you guys can find it, I would recommend. But that's just a little write up here of the first album, and also, I guess, technically a write up of the band more so than the album itself. But still really cool to see these write ups of these bands that basically are just coming out, just releasing their first album. And all 3 of these examples here in this Rip magazine, that Eric Gale's band were just coming out with their first album at the time, Outlaw Blood with their debut, and then also the Scream with their debut album. So, like, it was all, that's why they call it, I would imagine, Fresh Blood section of the magazine, because it's all new bands coming out here. So, very good. Let me know what you guys think of Outlaw Blood. And if you guys want me to do more of these, like, articles and album reviews from people and writers back in the day in these magazines, I have plenty of magazines to do that. So, and plenty of bands that I have physical copies to show off to, and just, I know most of these bands, so be very easy for me to do. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay out of that collateral damage. And if you guys enjoyed this video, check out the abandoned album ads right here.
Yeah, I wrote that. It's called I Want to Rock Your Body. And then in parentheses it says to the break of dawn.